Hi everyone, good morning. I am María Alejandra Moreno Velasco. I am a former business major student of UCSP and the first exchange student that went to Handong Global University in 2016. I am currently working in the communications area of UCSP as a digital content assistant, which means that I foresee social media strategies and content for university's digital communication. Interconectados UCSP is a meeting place with our students, teachers, and alumni, and in general, members of our international community that are interested in learning about academic. No, sorry, you can listen?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
And we can.
Okay. Okay, sorry. Yeah, there was someone who wasn't able to listen. Okay, we will continue. So, as I was saying, Interconectados is a place where we meet with students, teachers, alumni, and members of our international community that are interested in learning more about academic destinations offered by UCSP, thanks to its international partners, and about scholarship opportunities for higher studies in general. Our goal is to promote the culture of these countries and allow attendees to dream and get excited about undertaking an academic and cultural exchange as soon as it is safe and possible to do so. To prepare to do it or to apply for scholarships, you must have information, identify and know the destination, and in many cases, learn the language. In every session, we have been virtually traveling to one or more countries. Today, we will be doing it towards Korea, South Korea, with Professor Scott Lincoln, Director of International Affairs at Handong Global University. We will also hear testimonies from our two business administration alumni and both awardees of the Korean Government Scholarship, Cristian Ayuni Cárdenas and Lucero Vilchez Vizcarra. Before starting, we want to share some recommendations. The duration of these presentations will be approximately 25 minutes. And then we will have a suitable space for questions, which can be made in the chat or by clicking the raise your hand icon. So, Professor Lincoln, the stage is yours.
Okay, it's nice to see everybody here. I'm kind of surprised there's so much interest in this, but I think you'll find Handong Global University is a really great place to come. Korea is a really exciting place. There's a lot of things going on here, and Handong is a very welcoming environment, and I'm sure you don't have to just believe me, you can see from what the student testimonials are like. So I'll start with the presentation. I'll try to keep it down time-wise, but it's very hard once you get a professor speaking. Oops, I can't share the screen. Can somebody make me a co-host? So I can share my screen with the PowerPoint. There we go. Okay. Okay. So this is Handong Global University. It's a really pretty campus. It's out in the middle of it looks like countryside, but it's very close to a pretty good sized city. And it's not far from some very big cities. So it depends on what you like. Everything is kind of available. Our motto is, why not change the world? And we really believe that. The professors that come here are here because we want to disciple students. So we end up spending a lot of personal time with the students on teams or in our classes. We really are here to invest in the students. Whoa. Let's see. So Handong is in Pohang, the city of Pohang, which is on the east coast towards the south. So like I said, the campus itself is kind of on a hill outside of the city of Pohang. But if you want to go into Pohang, it's not very far. It doesn't take long. We have buses coming to campus that will take you right to downtown Pohang in not too many minutes. And if you want to take the train, you can go to Seoul in 2.5 hours, or Daegu, Busan, other big cities are not very far away at all. So we have very comfortable high-speed trains that travel around. So it's if you like the city, you can go to cities. If you like the country, you can go to country. We have mountains. We're really close to the sea. So if you like a beach, that you can walk to the beach from our campus. It takes a little while to walk, but it's possible. It's all available. So Handong students come from all over the world. We have the Korean students we have are top 20% of Korean high school graduates. So they're quite smart, and they're very hardworking students. So it can give you a good challenge trying to compete with Korean students at that level. They'll push you, okay, to do your very best. So the instruction at Handong is at quite a high level and can be pretty challenging. So we have about 15% students that have lived abroad, okay, or citizens of other countries. So they come from a couple different groups. So in 2019, which is our last normal year, we had students from 60 different countries. And I mean passport holders, so citizens of 60 other countries. In addition to that, we're the number one place where Korean missionary kids come. So this is the university that all the Korean missionaries want to send their children to. So we have hundreds of Korean missionary kids and pastor kids. We're the number one destination for them. So they come from a whole bunch of other countries. So almost any country around the world you can imagine, there's going to be somebody here on campus who's lived there, whether a Korean missionary kid or pastor's kid or an actual citizen of that country. So it's a very international background, much more so than I would say even our US partner schools. A lot of the Christian schools in America that we are partners with, we get exchange students from those schools, and they come here, and they're very surprised by how global Handong is and how many people they meet from all over the world. So we have about 4,000, we have a little over 4,000 students, and about 15% of those are graduated overseas, either citizens or missionary kids, things like that. So we also say HGU is Handong Global University. We also say it stands for Handong God's University. And that's printed right on our front building. The main building says Handong God's University right across, in big letters right across the front. So we take this very seriously, that everything we do is about God's kingdom and raising people for God's kingdom and his purposes. So that's absolutely central to all the things that we do, and we're always taking that idea first. So there's our model of education. It looks like the Chinese character gong, and it's also looks like a railroad tie, so it's a very strong model. And the foundation is honesty and integrity. So we expect our students to have strong integrity and to do everything honestly. And we focus on this quite a lot in the beginning. If anyone comes here, you'll go through the honor code ceremony where you pledge to have integrity in every area of your life and everything that you do. So Handong was recognized by the Korean government, actually, as the top institution for character building in South Korea. Out of all other universities, we were the top, the absolute number one for character building. So most universities, they try to train people in their careers and in what they're planning to study, but they don't worry too much about character. Whereas we look at people as not just workers that we're training up, but as God's people, and we look at people holistically. So we want to train people up, not just academically and intellectually, but emotionally and spiritually as well. So we have our team system. As you can see here, this is kind of a representative of our team system. So we have the #1 retention rate. So our students never leave us. They don't go anywhere else. They stay here at Handong. So we have the #1 retention rate among all private Korean universities. And actually we have the #2 retention rate among all Korean universities, public and private. Seoul National University is the only one, is the only university with a higher retention rate. And Seoul National University is basically like the equivalent of Harvard University here in Korea. So they're the only university that has a higher retention rate than us. So the Handong Honor Code, as I mentioned, this is the different parts of the Handong Honor Code that we expect our students to stick to. And it's a meaningful ceremony where you would come and you would have your freshman helper get to know you and would pray for you during this time. And it's an important ceremony that we take a lot of pride in. So because we want to train our students up, in character and things like that, it's important that we have them here. So we want all the students to live here on campus where they can meet with the other students and they can meet with team professors and we can disciple them. So we strongly prefer our students to stay here on campus. So we have lots of dormitory space. Okay. And like I said, there's a Handong team system. So you have one professor. All students are part of a team. So that means there's a professor in charge of each team. So every student is assigned to a professor's team. And you meet with them at least once a week, though often more frequently. So we have fun together. We get to know each other. We have meals together. We go places together. Talk about serious topics sometimes, or just play games. It's basically your family while you're here at Handong, and that works out really well. That system has been one of our strongest points. So we have all kinds of other spiritual training and character building between chapels and discipleship programs and many other things, more than I have time to mention. Okay, Carmichael College is the residential college that all the international students that come in belong to. So if any of you come to Handong, you would be part of Carmichael College. And the Carmichael students generally live in this international hall, okay, which we generally call I-House. That's the international dormitory. And as I've said, we had, in 2019, there were 60 countries represented in I-House from all over the world, from every continent. So it's a very dynamic and international and exciting place to live. And the students all really enjoy that, because even if you're shy and you don't make friends easily, you can't help but know at least people from at least a dozen different countries, because there's just so many people around. And your roommates will probably be from different countries, and it's an exciting place to live. So knowledge about the different majors and things that we have. So these are the different undergraduate programs at Handong. Not all of them are full English programs, but all of them have some English classes, because even the Korean students need to take some of their classes in 100% English to graduate. So all the departments have some 100% English classes. But we do have some fully English majors. So management and economics. And school has the global management major. That's my major. That's what I teach in. We have US and international law, information technology, and GCS, which is for full-time students. They can design their own major using all the English classes available. They can design their very own major. So with help from a professor. So you get an advising professor and design your own major, but that's just for full-time students. Okay, and then globalization. So we have a lot of ties to international organizations like the UN, UNESCO, OECD. We have a lot of ties to them, and that gives us a lot of advantages. So it's hard to mention all those things here in a short period of time, but for such a small university, kind of outside of Seoul and in a relatively smaller city in Korea, we are a very international organization. We have a lot of international ties. So we have exchange students. Yeah, this information is out of date. We're over 230 or 250 partner schools now. I'm not sure if we've added any countries to that, but we have a lot of different exchange students coming from different countries and we have our students going out to lots of different countries. So that's one of the things that makes it so exciting here. So here's just some students having fun. Lots of different activities they do together. So that's the end of my PowerPoint. So if anybody has, well, I think now we're going to move into testimonies of some students who've actually been here. So you don't have to just take my word for it.
Thank you so much, Professor Lincoln. That was a great presentation. It made me a little bit nostalgic to see all those pictures from Handong. I remember when I was there, it was really nice to hear you talk about the university. I can say that everything he says, it's completely true. Now we're gonna move on with Christian Ayuni so we can hear his testimony. Christian, you can go.
Well, hello everybody. I hope you're having a really good morning. And actually, like, I have this kind of nostalgic feelings about Handong experience, like with me too. Everything that the professor said, like, is totally true. And it's not about only like academic experience, because you are going to face many challenges, because going abroad, living different kind of experience. And also probably some of you, we are going to want to travel to Korea to achieve some kind of dream. So that was about my experience. I was like, my first approach to Korea was like really young, but UCSP and also Handong, with this connection, with this opportunity, gave me provide me this kind of experience. So I was like, first of all, nervous, travel to Korea to live in this dream. But also I discovered in Handong the experience of community. You are not going to feel alone. You have like international friends. You are not only going to meet just only Korean friends. And also you're going to live this kind of experience, like festivals. You're going to meet more about the Korean culture. And also thanks to Handong, I discovered, like, how can I say, not only a culture. Yeah, you're like feeling attached, this kind of nostalgic feelings to this place. Right now, even though I'm attending a like graduate school in Korea, in different part of Korea, like I feel so nostalgic to be right now in Handong, because people from Handong is really special. And this is not only my testimony. I asked different people that I met here in Korea, and I said, yes, I have been exchange student in Handong Global University, and they know the name, even though they live only in Seoul. They hear about the name, and they said like they are like special people. Yeah, so Right now I feel a little nostalgic about it, but I really encourage you, like if you really want to live this kind of dream, you want to achieve this goal, Handong is like an awesome opportunity. And I'm going to say something in Spanish so you can get more about this. Chicos, bueno, mi experiencia en Handong realmente ha sido muy buena, exquisita. He podido vivir festivales, he podido vivir la cultura, he podido relacionarme con diferentes personas de todo el mundo. Y también he podido crecer como persona, que es algo muy importante para mí y creo que para todos nosotros. Y lo que yo les quería decir, como dice el lema de Handong, why not change the world? ¿Por qué no cambiar el mundo? Podemos cambiar el mundo con nuestras pequeñas acciones. Y si ustedes están tomando esa decisión de poder experimentar un nuevo mundo, conocer un nuevo país, Corea del Sur y Handong es una excelente oportunidad. Así que, en verdad, chicos, yo los animo mucho de que se preparen, porque sí hay algunos requisitos que uno debe cumplir para obtener, poder hacer este intercambio. Y más que todo, animarlos. Las metas, los sueños se pueden hacer realidad, pero uno tiene que proyectarse. Uno tiene que proyectarse con su trabajo y también con la ayuda del Señor. Así que les digo que anímense, chicos. Esta es una grandiosa oportunidad y Handong realmente te cambia la vida. Y eso ha sido mi testimonio. Gracias. Thank you so much.
Gracias, Cristian. Thank you so much for your testimony. Thank you for your words. And well, for you mentioned it, but if for everyone to know, Christian is right now doing a graduate degree in Korea, in South Korea. So he stayed there. He's fulfilling his dream. He's changing the world one step at a time. So now we're gonna hear Lucero's testimony. So Lucero, you can start.
No se ve nada. No.
Lucero?
Yes. Hey to everyone. Good morning to everyone. I'm so sorry for the delay. I had some problems here in my home. So, well, first I want to say to all of you that the experience of going to Handong Global University and to South Korea is a great experience. You will grow in every sense. You will grow professionally, spiritually, you will grow emotionally. So my experience was more about learning to adapt to a different culture, learning to be really, how can I say it, courageous, because it was during the pandemic in the beginning of 2020 that I had to travel to Korea for this period. So I can say that Handong Global University is a place which is not just beautiful because of the buildings and all, because of all the restaurants, and it is not only amazing because of the majors and all the courses you can study there, but people is amazing. So right now I can say that I will definitely go back to South Korea to visit South Korean friends, and I will definitely go to Handong again, because it is a place where I have a lot of memories, where I learned a lot of things. And as Professor Scott Lincoln said, you can also grow in character, because Handong is a place where you can learn integrity, honesty, and they, as he said, we have an honor code. I still have my honor code here because I had to sign it, and it is great. I can show you. And I also have some pictures that I would like to show you if it is okay. I don't know, maybe Sarita can tell me if I can show you this picture so you can know a little more of Handong and people and students there.
Sure, Lucero, you can share with us. To be a pleasure.
Okay, great. So just wait for me some minutes that I will try to share my screen. So I think I am sharing now my screen. Can you see the pictures now?
Yes.
So here we have this. This is a place that it is so beautiful for me because here we have the, as Professor Scott Lincoln said, Handong University. So G is not only for global, but also for GAT. And I want to show you these pictures. Definitely you won't be alone if you go there. You get to meet a lot of friends from different places, from different countries with different cultures, and it is amazing. You also go and you can go to different places like to the city or to cultural or traditional places and do a lot of funny activities. This is in Pohang, the city where Handong is located. This is a special place too because it is at the entrance of Handong. These are some of the places inside the campus. You also have these beautiful trees that are, I don't remember the name right now, but maybe you can help me, Christian. Do you remember the name of this tree? Well, I don't have it in mind right now, but this is really beautiful.
Like cherry blossoms.
Cherry blossoms tree. So you have these trees in some months of the year. Well, here we are with some friends from other countries. We were saying thank you to the medical staff during the pandemic. Some other pictures with friends. Really, next to the university, there is a lake, a beautiful place to take a walk and to enjoy the nature. So, well, these are some of the pictures I wanted to share with you. Right now, I'm really happy and nostalgic too as Christian. So I'm going to share also my experience in Spanish for the people that maybe want to know a little more. Hola a todos de nuevo, estoy muy contenta de poder compartir un poco más de mi experiencia. Como le dije en inglés, Handong es un lugar maravilloso para poder ir a estudiar, y no solo estudiar, sino conocer personas, culturas, crecer en carácter, crecer en espíritu, conocer muchísimo más de lo que otra cultura tiene para enseñarnos, expandir nuestros horizontes, crecer en muchísimas cosas. Entonces yo realmente les recomiendo que consideren muchísimo la posibilidad de poder aplicar para este programa, porque muchas personas normalmente aplican a programas para ir tal vez a Europa o a Estados Unidos, a muchos países que, bueno, todos queremos ir, pero realmente Corea es un lugar muy especial para ir. Y como dijo Cristian, o como dijeron muchos también aquí, los estudiantes en Handong, la cultura en Handong es muy especial. Nunca vas a estar solo, siempre te asignan a un equipo con personas que puedes conocer y puedes hacer amigos. Se aprende muchísimo, probablemente me están faltando muchísimas cosas por decir, porque la experiencia es magnífica, hay muchísimas actividades en la universidad. Yo no pude vivir todas las universidades todas las actividades porque como les conté, estuve durante el tiempo de la pandemia, entonces las clases eran en línea, pero aún así, estando en Corea durante la pandemia, aprendí demasiado, aprendí a ser mucho más independiente, a hacer absolutamente todo yo sola, a valerme por mí misma, a aprender no solamente en la ciudad en la que se encuentra la universidad, sino también en otros lugares dentro de Corea. Y la calidad también de la educación en Handong es muy maravillosa, así como nuestra universidad también lo es. Así que les recomiendo que puedan ir, que puedan aprender y que definitivamente se puedan quedar con esta frase de why not change the world, porque eso es lo mejor que podemos hacer, empezar a hacer algo pequeño y algo pequeño que va creciendo y que va cambiando el mundo. Así que muchas gracias por su atención, espero que haya podido ser de mucha utilidad para todos.
Gracias, Lucero. Thank you for your testimony. Now, well, I'm going to tell you a little bit of my own experience there. As I was telling you, I was the first exchange student to go to Handong, to South Korea. I always wanted to go on an exchange while I was still in college, but I needed to find a scholarship that could help me pay for the trip. And I wanted to find a challenge to go to a country that would allow me to generate an international network of contacts, friends, colleagues, and future leaders, and also an English-speaking country. I met Handong when I was a volunteer in the GET event for entrepreneurs that came to Peru. And I found out about a full scholarship that would allow me to travel and live for 1 semester in South Korea, in Pohang. So I just needed to send an essay, recommendations for my professors here at UCSP to certify my level of English. And well, actually it was kind of scary because I was the first one to do all this process. But long story short, I sent my papers, and in approximately May of 2016, everything was done online. I received the answer at the end of June the same year, and I was supposed to go there the end of August to do a training program for international students so I could adapt. I immediately contacted the Korean embassy in Lima directly, and I made an appointment. I remember clearly because I made the appointment from Arequipa so I could go there. I don't remember which day, but it was during the morning, and the same day on the afternoon, I was receiving my visa. So that was also a good experience. I got to travel to Lima just for 1 day on my own. Later on, Handong sends you the acceptance letter physically from there. And you just need that, your passport, your tickets. Later on, you have to buy the airplane tickets, but don't worry, the scholarship also covers that. My trip had several stops in Mexico and Japan. It was the first time I had the chance to travel completely alone and abroad. And well, as a part of my testimony, and I would also like to tell you a little bit more about this in Spanish. Handong es una universidad que, como comentaban también Lucero y Cristian, es un poco como un cuento de hadas. Como ustedes también podían ver en las fotos de Lucero, tiene un lago. Bueno, en la ciudad tú no la puedes ver directamente, llegas a Pohang, es como un terrapuerto, y tienes que tomar un taxi o un bus que te lleva, que parece que estás saliendo de la ciudad y empiezas a llegar como por unas montañas. Todo es verde en Corea, es hermoso. Y ahí está Handong. Lo primero que ves es esa piedra que también les mostró Lucero. Es muy significativo. En la parte de atrás de la universidad hay un bosque donde puedes ir a tomar caminatas, puedes ir a pasear. Hay también como un estilo de montañita que puedes escalar. Hay un lago también muy lindo, muy bonito. Hay pececitos. Parece de verdad un cuento de hadas. No es 100% necesario si alguien tiene miedo también por el tema del coreano, hablarlo con fluidez o saber mucho del idioma. Puedes manejarte bastante bien solo con el inglés. Puedes viajar también a otros lugares, a otras ciudades dentro de Corea. Yo les recomiendo mucho eso también si es que lo están considerando. Corea es un país muy rico, a pesar de que es un país pequeño, y como también decían mis compañeros, no es usualmente la primera opción que tenemos para irnos de intercambio, pero yo lo recomiendo muchísimo. Aprendes mucho de ti mismo, creces como persona, como profesional, aprendes de otras personas, de otras culturas. O sea, la universidad es como un pequeño mundo. Puedes conocer mucho el tema de personas de Latinoamérica, de Argentina, de México. Yo conocí gente también de Europa, Luxemburgo, gente de Asia, de Vietnam, Japón, China, obviamente de Corea. Entonces, si es que ustedes lo están considerando, yo les recomiendo mucho que no se detengan en ese sueño, que sigan luchando por él y que apliquen una vez que sea seguro hacerlo, que ya puedan comenzar a viajar nuevamente y que vayan a vivir su experiencia de Handong y empiecen a cambiar el mundo. So yeah, that was my testimony. Now we are going to go to the question and answer section with Professor Lincoln, who can help us out here again. People have been writing their questions. So if Professor Lincoln is still here, yeah, thank you, Professor. Okay, so I'm gonna read it to you so you can go answering them. Let's see. So we're gonna begin with this one from Sebastián Mogrovejo. He's asking if he can study architecture in Handong Global University.
Yes, we do have an architecture program. So they actually just got a brand new building on campus for that major. So we have that. I also noticed some people were talking about industrial engineering and civil engineering. We do have those majors. And as far as I don't know for sure, but I believe we can do masters also in those programs. But you have to get, I think, a professor to sponsor you, basically. But I think that is possible.
Thank you. That's interesting. And it actually kind of answers the second question. Alejandra Paredes was asking, are there opportunities for scholarships in master's degree?
There are some. Not well. I believe we do. There are ways to get scholarships. So we have. I don't know that much about the scholarships for master's degrees. The graduate programs kind of work independently of our office. So I'm much more familiar with the undergraduate scholarships that are offered. So we do have the Cornerstone Scholarship that we offer to our four-year students from developing countries. But I do believe that some of the master's programs also have scholarships. I know the law school does. We have a big graduate law school. So that's our largest graduate school offering. So the masters in other departments are going to be just a few students, not very many. So I think they handle scholarship opportunities through the graduate school, and I'm not that familiar with that. But I think they do have them.
Okay, thank you. Maybe if someone still has a question that they feel it wasn't completely answered, they can write an email to Professor Lincoln and get it answered later on. So yeah, that's also what you can do. Then Marela Mendoza is asking about the requirements if they would want to apply to computer science.
Well, as for exchange students, they can come and basically take any classes that they want that are in English. So we don't have any requirements for that. Actually, Handong is pretty unique that way, that students are accepted to Handong just as a general acceptance, and they can choose their majors freely after that. They're not accepted into specific majors at the university. So Handong students don't even declare a major until their second year. They're not allowed to. So Handong students are not even allowed to declare a major until their second year. So they're expected to spend their first year kind of exploring different majors and seeing what they're interested in before settling down on a major in their second year. And then they have to choose two. So they have a dual major system here. But yeah, so but they're freely able to choose those, and they're freely able to change them as they see fit. So the school doesn't say, oh, well, your grade point average is not good enough, so you can't take this major or that major. You can try any major that you want. So there aren't any recommendation or any requirements.
Great, Professor. Thank you. There's another question from Nicole Bautista. She's asking, are there any requirements like from which semester you have to be in to apply for a scholarship to go as an exchange student?
The GKS scholarship, the Global Korea Scholarship, is offered by the Korean government. So I don't think they have any requirements, but I'm not sure about that. That's not a Handong scholarship. That's a Korean government scholarship. And that's the one you'd most likely be interested in, because that's a very good scholarship and it covers a lot. So I don't think they have any requirements for that, but they may show preference to students who are a little bit older rather than like, say, second semester students or something. But I would generally say you want to be at least a sophomore by the time you, so in your at least second year student before you do an exchange.
Okay, okay, perfect, perfect. Okay, well, yeah, so maybe Lucero, or maybe Lucero, who was the last one who went to Korea, can help us out answering a couple of these questions as well about these requirements for the scholarship.
Sí. Yes, I'm so sorry. Sometimes I forget about speaking in English, but maybe I can explain it better in Spanish. Is it okay?
Sure.
Ok, bueno, justo algunas preguntas que estaban haciendo los chicos también pude ver en el chat, aunque por aquí déjame verlo para poder responderles de una mejor forma. Como les comentaba el profesor Scott, en realidad no es como que hay un límite realmente respecto a los cursos. En mi caso, por ejemplo, yo estaba estudiando Administración de Negocios en la universidad, pues en la Zampa, y al momento de inscribirme a los cursos, de hecho sí hay una carrera parecida a mi carrera y seguramente hay carreras muy parecidas a la de cada uno de ustedes, pero que no son tal cual o que no vas a encontrar los mismos cursos exactamente que puedes encontrar en la malla que tienes ahora en tu carrera aquí, en Arequipa, en la universidad, pero vas a encontrar cursos que se parecen muchísimo, los cuales puedes convalidar al momento de regresar. Entonces, incluso también al momento de que ya eres, digamos, aceptado o aceptada para este programa, tú puedes inscribirte a cualquier curso que tú desees, como decía el profesor Scott. En realidad no hay un límite para eso, ¿no? Ya depende de ti, por ejemplo, si te inscribes a el curso de coreano 1 o coreano básico, obviamente ese curso no lo vas a poder convalidar aquí, pero depende de ti si quieres aprender sobre eso. Ya depende de ti qué cursos deseas aprender y ver qué cursos encajan o son compatibles con los cursos que tú estás llevando aquí en Arequipa. Ahora, alguien también preguntó sobre los programas de máster. Sí hay programas de máster y sí hay becas de máster. Yo lo sé porque he conocido personas allá de Latinoamérica que también han estudiado máster, pero eso es un tema que ya lo tienen que ver directamente, por ejemplo, por medio de la página de la universidad o de los programas que tiene en sí la universidad, y me parece que es algo un poco aparte del programa el cual se da entre la Universidad Católica San Pablo y la Universidad de Handong, que es más que todo un programa de pregrado. No sé si tienen alguna otra pregunta o María Alejandra, si me puedes ayudar a ver las preguntas como para ver qué les puedo responder. Hay muchas carreras que aplican, en realidad no es solamente para una o dos carreras en específico, sino que depende mucho de las notas que tengas tú ahora y los documentos que te piden, que básicamente tiene que ver con las notas que has tenido durante toda tu carrera hasta este punto, para poder ingresar y ciertos criterios que tienen que cumplir, pero no depende de una carrera en sí, sino más que todo de esas notas y de tu historial en la universidad.
Gracias, Lucero, gracias. Creo que eso responde a las preguntas que nos han ido haciendo, al menos respecto a la beca. I would like to ask Professor Lincoln another question that was on the chat. Maybe he can tell us a little bit more about the team system in Handong.
Sure, I can. The question actually asked about it from a student perspective, though.
Yeah, but
So-
maybe you can give us like a bit of an introduction.
Okay. So as I said, every student is assigned to a professor's team, and you meet every week. To begin with, you do a lot of icebreakers and getting to know you kind of activities. So the team will often, some of your best friends at the school will often be your teammates, people that you're in a team with, because you get to know them really well. Even outside of the weekly meeting, teammates will often meet for lunch. You see in the team chat, somebody will say, hey, I'm going to lunch. Does anybody want to go? And somebody will say, hey, I'll go with you. And that kind of thing. They do a lot of stuff together. we actually, in 2019, in the springtime, we had some exchange students who came and had a really good time on our team. One of them was from the US, one of our partner universities. And in the fall, she was only there for the spring, and in the fall we had a Thanksgiving dinner at my apartment. My wife made a great big Thanksgiving meal, and the team students all came over. And that American student, she stayed up until something like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning so that she could do FaceTime, chat with us and join, the meeting, because she missed everybody on the team so much and she wanted to do that. So she stayed up very late at night so that she could chat with us and, get to see everybody again. So that's just kind of an indication of how, close the relationships are on the team, and how much, people miss each other when they go. And there's always lots of tears when the exchange students leave after one semester and they have to say goodbye to all their friends and things like that. So it's a really good experience, I think, for most of the students.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Professor. It actually, yeah, it's a really good experience, and you meet a lot of good friends during the team sessions. They're your your lunch buddies afterwards. Maybe Christian can tell us a little bit more about that as a student perspective.
Yeah, actually, this is one of the things I really love it about Handong, like about like the team system. Like you become a part of a family. Exactly. It's like, even though you're like facing different challenge in a different environment, you're going to have your team. Like usually you want to see, oh, how can I do this, or how can I go to this place, or how can I apply by this. You have your team there so they can support you. Also, you have your session, like how can I say, like superior, like someone like your big brother or big sister that are going to help you with things that you're facing right on this situation. So I like it that. And also you have this approach with your professor. Yeah, before Handong, I didn't have this kind of experience to approach to a professor, to have like a dinner, to have a lunch with them, and they took us like personally, like this is different experiences. So I was like, wow, this is wonderful. Like and actually, like, how can I say, they provide me like a different way to see the world. Like not only this kind of level, the students, professors that I used to know about Korean culture, that they had like the students are different and professors are different, but with Handong I really discovered this kind of relations with professors closely. So I really love that. The team system actually saved me my life, even though I really like the Korean culture, but the team system in Handong is a special thing that you can live in Handong. So yeah.
Thank you, Christian. Thank you for sharing your experience. Professor, we have another question about dates. If a person would like to apply for next semester, or for semester, or for fall semester, or for spring semester, next year, yeah, when would they need to begin filling in papers? What's the process?
Okay, so again, I'm not sure what the dates are for the GKS scholarship. You'd have to go to the website at the Korean Embassy website and look up GKS, the GKS scholarship, the Global Korea Scholarship. All the details would be on their website. But for Handong, I know if people want to come, I think the applications have to be in quite early. I think we finish applications for the spring semester in about mid-October. So the applications should come in pretty early. I think for exchange students, maybe there'd be a little bit more time, but the earlier, the better. Okay, so that we can start getting things sorted out.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's good to know. We have, well, a lot of questions about the requirements, but you already answered that. I mean, from the Handong perspective. So finally, I would like you to please leave us your email again on the chat, so maybe people can write to you if they have any more questions. And yeah, I mean, I think everything was pretty clear. It was really great to hear a perspective from you, Professor, and from Lucero and from Christian, to hear or to read the questions from students who are really interested in going to Korea. I think that's really good to know that there's this interest. I really hope that most of you or all of you can go at some point. And if you have any other questions, you can write to Professor Lincoln. His email is on the chat right now. And Sarah just wrote also the email from International Affairs from UCSP. So you can write to her as well if you have any other questions, if you want to apply, and in general. So that was our Interconectados UCSP from South Korea from today. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for our testimonials. Thank you, Professor Lincoln, for making the time. We know it's really late in South Korea right now. So the International Relations and Cooperation Department of Universidad Católica San Pablo thanks all of you for your participation, and we invite you to participate in our next events. Good afternoon, and thank you so much. Oh, Sarita, I'm sorry.
Yes, sorry. I just want to ask everyone to turn on their cameras to have some final photo, please. Chicos, por favor, prendan sus cámaras para sacar una foto final todos. Por favor. Gracias. Thank you. ¿Quiénes más? Gracias, chicos, gracias. Muy bien. Entonces ahora, creo que ya podemos, ya tenemos algunas cámaras. Perfecto. So, now you can smile, sonría. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let me check, please. It's okay. So thank you so much. Now, Ale, if you want to finish, I'll give you the word. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Sarita. Thank you, Professor Lincoln. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Well, as I was saying, if you have any questions, you can write to those emails. And we hope to see you soon in Handong Global University.
Gracias. Thank you.
Chao,
Bye.
gracias.